Hi, this is Bird from Bird's SVGs, and in this video I'll be putting the labels together. These are the mason jar labels, and it's from the Nature's Bounty SVG collection. So what I've done is I have made labels that fit the two main types of mason jars for the two main brands from both sides of the pond. So I have provided you with labels for the standard mouth and wide mouth ball jars, and I've provided you with the screw top and clip top Kilner jar labels. First of all, I'm showing you the labels for it's the standard mouth ball jar and the screw top Kilner jar. Now, strangely enough, the dimensions of the two jars were almost identical, so this is great. So you've got the same label for the top, and then you've got two alternative designs for the front labels, and you can mix and match them so you can pick which one you'd like to use. So I'm starting off with my Kilner jar, and this one says homemade with love, and it's got a band that goes all the way around the jar. And then the other one, which I'll show you in a moment, says preserved with love, so you've got a choice there. And to reflect the sentiment on the front, you have a doily label for the top feed lids of your jars, and they've got a little heart in the middle. So I'm just going to add some 3D glue dots, and I'm going to add them underneath my label. I'm just popping one on the top because it's quite a small little label, popping that into the top of my jar. And then I've been kind of curving my label because it's got that band that goes all the way around the jar. And you can add glue over the whole area if you'd like, but I thought I'd just try it with a strip down the middle and two strips on the end. And it has been, I've had them here for about a week so far, and they're still holding well. So that did seem to work. Although my double-sided tape here has actually got a yellow liner on it, it's the same, basically it's the same stickiness as you get on red liner tape. It's just got a different colour liner on it. So I would recommend using, a really strong double-sided tape, like a red liner tape. So because I've already kind of curved that, it was used to going around the circle. So that's that one done. And then I'll move on to my standard mouth ball jar. The lid is the same. I'm just going to glue the pieces on top of each other. All of the pieces across the whole collection in the labels, they just glue directly on top of each other. I'm using wet glue because that gives me a bit of wiggle room to get things perfectly placed. I've been experimenting with some different wet glues actually, and the most recent one, the one I've got here, is called Dries Clear, and it's by Art Glitter, and it's probably my favourite one so far. So I'm really pleased with this. Where I buy it from the Craft Channel, you get two bottles, and it's two 60ml or 2 ounce bottles, but you also get the precision tip that you can see me using. And I do love a precision tip, but some of the ones I've been using, they get clogged up. But this does actually come with a pin and again, some pins actually rust, but this one doesn't seem to be, so it must be stainless. But yeah, this is a great kit, and it was only like $8.99 for all 3 pieces, so I recommend that. Okay, so again, I did actually, I think, remember to start curving these pieces before I actually glued them together, because it can be a little bit tricky afterwards, especially if you glue dries, because it can go hard. So if you can, start curving your pieces, just bending it right with your hands, and get it kind of used to moving in that direction. And then again, I've just added a strip to the middle and then 2 strips at the end, and that's enough to hold it to my jar. And I've put a nice big 3D glue dot on the lid to hold that in place. Another thing to mention is that obviously these mason jars, they come in all shapes and sizes. I know I've gone for the 2 main brand names, or what it seemed to me to be the 2 main brand names. I hope that these will fit any type of mason jar that you have, because obviously there's a whole host of them out there. But even within these 2 brands, there were numerous sizes, volumes. But what I've picked here is I've gone for the approximately 500 ml size. And I've gone for, so all 4 jars that I show you here are the 500 ml versions. I think in the ball it's actually 490 ml. But yeah. Okay, so we've done our smaller lid jars, and now we're moving on to our wider mouth jars. So first of all, I'm starting with the Kilner clip top, and this is the biggest lid of all of them. But what I've done is I have given you the 2 different lid labels. I've given you them in 2 different sizes. So just because the lids on the 2 different jars are different, it doesn't mean that you only get one set of words for your lid. You will get both, so I'll provide them in the different sizes. And then the labels for the front of these 2 jars, your wider mouth jars, they're the same, so they can be mixed and matched. But it'll all be laid out properly in your PDF. You'll be able to see, you know, which label you can use on which jar. I'll make it nice and clear for you. So I have glued my lid label directly on top of each other. I've done the same with my front label, but I've curved that a little bit with my hands, ready for putting it on. And because this label is a bit bigger, I've added 4 glue dots to the top. And then I'll pop that into place. So this one says enjoy. And the other option you get as well is one that says homemade. And then the front labels on this particular one, you've got homemade preserves. And the other one says preserved with love. So now we're moving on to the wide mouth ball jar. And this label says homemade, but obviously you will also get the option for it to say enjoy. And again, the pieces just glue on top of each other. And the thing to remember when you're cutting your pieces out is the middle layer is the colour that your lettering becomes. So my lettering was quite muted. I used it was a wood grain paper. But if you wanted that to really stand out and have more contrast, then, pick a dark paper for that middle layer, and then your lettering would be really quite bold. So here's your other option for your front label, and it says preserved with love. And then again, I'm curving that before I put my glue on. It does make it a lot easier. Because if we try and curve it after it's all glued and dried, the glue can go kind of hard, and it's more difficult to try and curve the cardstock afterwards. So again, I'm popping some glue dots onto my lid. And one onto each end of my front label. And then once I've popped this front label into place, I'll show you the 2 wider mouth jars together, and in both of the sizes you get both options for the lids and the fronts, so you can pick which one you'd like to use. Now these are the swing tags with swing labels, so these get attached to any of your jars with a piece of string or twine. I use some baker's twine for mine. So an awful lot of the mason jars and bottles have got clip tops on them, so they're ever so easy to just tie a label to the little the metal mechanism on your clip top. But alternatively, you could tie it around the neck of your jar or bottle as well, and you could even use some ribbon to make it even more special. So you've got the 3 options here. You've got homemade, made with love, and enjoy. Also, if you're using light colour cardstock for your front and back layers, as I am, that means that you could write the contents of your jar or the date that it was made on the back of these swing tags. So that's something else that you could think of. Okay, so that's your 3 different swing tags or labels. and then I'll show you all of the jars together. All in all, you get 10 different designs, and obviously some of them come in more than one size to fit all the different the two different brands. So I hope you'll find something in there that you like or fits the particular brand or type of mason jars that you use.